Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. The Diagnostic Trouble Code, DTC P1454, indicates a fuel tank pressure, FTP, sensor circuit range performance problem. This sensor monitors the pressure inside the fuel tank, providing vital data to the vehicle's powertrain control module, PCM, to manage fuel vapor emissions effectively. When this sensor fails or its circuit exhibits abnormalities, the PCM will detect these irregularities and set the P1454 code, which can affect vehicle emissions and performance. Additionally, addressed in this guide is DTC P1452, which relates to the evaporative emission, EVAP, canister vent shut valve being stuck closed. This component is crucial for controlling vapor release from the fuel system. Both DTCs must be resolved to ensure optimal vehicle efficiency and compliance with emission standards. DTC P1454 relates to the fuel tank pressure, FTP sensor, which plays a pivotal role in monitoring the vapor pressure within the fuel tank. Located typically near the fuel tank, this sensor provides essential data to the powertrain control module, PCM, for managing emissions. A malfunctioning FTP sensor can lead to inaccurate readings, causing the vehicle to fail emission tests and potentially impacting engine performance. Meanwhile, DTC P1422 indicates a malfunction where the evaporative emission, EVAP, canister vent shut valve is stuck closed. This valve is critical as it regulates the release of fuel vapors into the engine for combustion. When it becomes inoperable, it can lead to excessive pressure buildup in the fuel system and subsequently fuel vapor leaks. Understanding these components is essential for effective troubleshooting. The potential causes for DTC P1454 include a defective fuel tank pressure FTP sensor, which can result from wear, damage, or manufacturing defects. This sensor may produce erratic or erroneous readings, prompting the DTC to be stored. Next, wiring issues such as damaged or corroded connectors between the FTP sensor and the PCM could also lead to the code being triggered. Additionally, a blockage in the ventilation paths, including the FTP sensor vent port or the EVAP canister vent hose, can cause pressure anomalies, directly leading to DTC P1454. On the other hand, DTC P2422 could stem from a faulty EVAP canister vent shut valve, preventing it from opening and closing correctly, which disrupts the normal operation of the evaporative system. Addressing each of these causes is vital for accurate diagnosis and effective repair. Common symptoms associated with DTC P1454 and P2422 include the illumination of the check engine light, signaling that a problem exists within the emissions control system. Another symptom often reported is poor fuel economy due to inefficient combustion driven by incorrect sensor readings. Drivers may also experience performance-related issues that can include rough idling or hesitation during acceleration as a result of disrupted fuel vapor management. Additionally, when dealing with DTC P2422, issues such as the vehicle failing an emissions test may occur as the ventilating mechanism for the fuel vapors is compromised. Lastly, there may be signs of fuel vapor leaks, which not only points to regulatory non-compliance, but can also lead to dangerous fumes being released into the environment. In the first troubleshooting step for DTC P1454, begin by turning the vehicle to the on mode without starting the engine. This allows access to the vehicle's onboard diagnostic system. Next, using the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS, clear any existing DTCs to reset the system for further analysis. Then, insert the emergency fuel funnel stored in the maintenance lid of the left side trim panel into the fuel filler neck. This unique tool ensures proper pressure management within the fuel system during the diagnostic process. Waiting for 1 minute allows the vehicle's electronics to stabilize, preparing it for the next stage of testing. After this waiting period, it is crucial to check specific parameter values with the HDS to determine if the issue persists. For the second step in troubleshooting DTC P1454, first turn the vehicle to the off or lock mode, ensuring the system resets properly. Afterward, carefully remove the emergency fuel funnel from the fuel filler neck, as this component is no longer necessary for testing. Next, start the engine and allow it to idle without load, which means the vehicle is in park or neutral. Monitoring the EVAP PC duty or purge control duty using the HDS is essential. The vehicle's engine speed should be held at approximately 3,000 RPM for at least 4 minutes, while the purge control duty remains at 20% or more. This effectively tests the integrity of the vapor control systems under simulated conditions. Finally, you should check the OBD status for the DTC, which will help you determine if any faults are still present. In the third troubleshooting step, turn the vehicle to the off/lock mode to safely perform the next procedures. After this, turn the vehicle back to the on mode. Clear the DTC once more using the HDS. Next, disconnect the EVAP canister vent hose from the EVAP canister, which allows you to investigate any possible blockages more effectively. By examining the current values in the HDS, you can ascertain whether the values fall within the specified thresholds. If the conditions meet the threshold, this indicates that there are blockages present in the EVAP canister vent hose or the drain tube joint. Hence, thorough inspection is necessary. Therefore, verifying these vent pathways is essential, as any restriction can directly impact fuel vapor management and lead to further emission issues. Step 4 involves checking the operation of the EVAP canister vent shut valve itself. Start by turning the vehicle to the off/lock mode again, which ensures that the system is safe to handle. Once the vehicle is off, remove the EVAP canister vent shut valve from the EVAP canister for inspection. Connect the 2P connector to the shut valve, which is necessary for conducting further tests. Turn the vehicle to the on mode and select the EVAP test from the inspection menu in the HDS. Implementing the EVAP CVS on functionality allows you to test whether the shut valve operates as intended. If the valve is free of corrosion and operates correctly, this indicates it is functioning effectively, and you can proceed to the next troubleshooting step. However, if it demonstrates any signs of failure, such as not operating correctly, it will need to be replaced to restore proper function to the EVAP system. In the fifth troubleshooting step for DTC P1454, you'll need to disconnect the vent hose from the fuel tank pressure FTP sensor for examination. Ensure the vehicle is turned off/lock prior to this step. Once the vent hose, identified as hose A, has been disconnected from the FTP sensor, identified as sensor B, it is essential to analyze the condition of the remaining hose. Utilizing the HDS, you will now assess the sensor's parameters to determine if the conditions correspond to the specified threshold values. Should the values conform to the established range, this could point towards a blockage in the FTP sensor vent hose that needs to be addressed. A blockage can prevent proper ventilation, leading directly to the symptoms associated with the DTC. If conditions do not meet the threshold, however, then more investigation into the FTP sensor itself is warranted. The final troubleshooting step for DTC P1454 begins with turning the vehicle to off/lock mode, allowing for safe disconnection of components. The next step involves removing the FTP sensor from the EVAP canister while ensuring its connector remains connected. This precaution allows you to gather necessary data without needing to short-circuit the system. After removal, turn the vehicle to the on mode once more and use the HDS to check the relevant parameters against the threshold values. If the values meet the expected thresholds, it indicates that the FTP sensor port is functioning properly, suggesting that the problem is likely due to an internal blockage within the EVAP canister itself, which would necessitate replacement of that component. Conversely, if the values do not correlate to the expected range, then the FTP sensor should be replaced to rectify the circuit performance issues tied to this DTC. After completing the troubleshooting and repair process for DTC P1454, it is pivotal to perform a final verification step to ensure that the issue has been resolved effectively. Start by rechecking for any DTC codes using the Honda Diagnostic System, HDS. It is essential that the system indicates a passing status with no errors present. Following this diagnostic confirmation, a thorough test drive of the vehicle must be conducted to ascertain that the repairs have restored normal functionality to the EVAP system. Pay close attention to the vehicle's performance during various driving conditions to ensure all sensors and components operate correctly under typical conditions. If the DTC does not reappear and the vehicle feels responsive and performs efficiently, this indicates successful repairs. In case any issues arise, further diagnostics may be required to investigate residual problems. To mitigate the likelihood of encountering issues related to DTC P1454 in the future, implementing a routine preventive maintenance schedule for the EVAP system is highly recommended. This may include regular inspections of all components associated with the evaporative system, including the fuel tank pressure, FTP sensor, and the EVAP canister vent shut valve. It's also advisable to maintain a proper fuel level in the tank, as excessively low or high fuel levels can contribute to triggering DTCs tied to fuel vapor anomalies. Furthermore, using quality parts during replacement or repairs can prevent unnecessary future complications, ensuring that all components function harmoniously and reliably. Engaging in these preventive measures not only preserves vehicle performance, but also plays a critical role in meeting environmental standards concerning emissions. In summary, understanding the causes and implications of DTC P1454 and DTC P2422 is crucial for maintaining optimal performance in a Honda Pilot from 2016 to 2022. Key aspects include identifying issues related to the fuel tank pressure FTP sensor and the evaporative emission EVAP system. By following the structured troubleshooting steps outlined, one can efficiently diagnose and rectify any relevant faults. Post-repair verification is essential to confirm effective resolution of the issues, ensuring that the vehicle operates without triggering these DTCs again. Furthermore, regular maintenance and proper practices can significantly mitigate future occurrences of such problems, leading to better fuel economy, reduced emissions, and increased overall vehicle reliability. Engaging with these guidelines ensures comprehensive care for your vehicle, promoting longevity and compliance with emission regulations. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.